I want to talk about if-then scenarios when it comes to decision making in trading, which is so important. It is the most important thing because execution is number one. And if you don't know how to do it and how to adapt, then you're really going to struggle. And so what I want to go over is some if-then scenarios for ETH. And I think it's a really good time to do this because of what's setting up. Now, on the weekly, we don't have any divergences, so we can't really go off the weekly. Okay, we've got strong momentum going up. We've taken out the prior all-time high, but we have momentum, okay? What we first have to do is identify a key level in the market. And the key level is clearly this one. It's already been tested. Okay, so this low does not have to get tested. However, if you think ahead of time, think about this moving up, something like this, then this may come into play. Now, this can be tested because we don't need a divergence for this to be tested. If we had a divergence, I would be more focused on the discount. However, the discount zone would be all the way down here below this key level. So at that point, the target would be here. Okay, so now you'll be thinking about some trades. The first one being a move down through this low, back into the key level, in line with the moving average. Now, when you think about this, that means we could range here for a couple of weeks at least. So that gives you a time frame to look at for this particular setup. The next setup would be a retest down here, but the target for this would be totally different from this one. So the target for this trade at this level would be all the way up here, okay? Because it's a breakout trade. We're expecting price to go into price discovery when we break out from an all-time high, unless we see momentum slowing down. This, however, if we've retested down here below this key level, the target would be here. Okay? And then after that, if price was to reclaim this level, then we can get long again and target this high. And the reason for that is because it's already lost momentum down here. This will be the first target. And then if it breaks out, we can get on the trend and trade it up. There's always a way of getting on trades. However, the one thing that you have to always be concerned with is not losing money. Taking mediocre trades is the way to lose money, and that's not what we do here. So you have to be patient. Those are the two scenarios on the weekly. Now, if we come on to the daily, let's take a look at what we've got. We have slowing down of momentum at the highs because we have the divergence in play, like this and like this. And we got that to the left as well. So we had this divergence right here. And all this means is that the probability, that's the key word, probability, becomes more in favor of us moving down into discount. So we reset on the daily. We haven't reset on the daily just yet on ETH. So this is still in play. That doesn't mean that it has to be retested. It's just the probability is in favor of this. However, we're in no man's land here, so I'm not going to take a trade here on ETH. I'm going to short it down into this level because I think it's going to get hit. That is not high probability trading. Okay, there's nothing to do right here on ETH for now. You can see that we're just in this tight range. When you enter trades in a range like this, it's low probability trading. You want to enter at the extremities of discount, premium, value area lows, value area highs. When you focus on that, you'll take better trades. You'll be more profitable. Absolute guarantee. What if price front runs the daily discount despite the divergence and the reset that we are expecting? Because the keyword probability doesn't mean it's going to happen. What do? It's quite simple. We know in a strong trend, when the market goes up, the 4 hour is often the time frame to get on board. So here's the discount on the 4 hour, discount on the 4 hour, discount, discount, and eventually we roll over. And so what we'd be looking for is, let's say ETH was about to front run this. If the market pushed up, let this reload. If the market pushed up, okay, and reclaimed the daily and 4 hour moving averages and front run this level, so if it pushed up to here, I would then be more inclined to bid discount on the 4 hour and then trade it up. And so discount would be here. You can imagine the bands would curl up, something like this. And the moving average would go something like this, okay? So this is how the bands would look. What I'd like to see is a breakup, smash straight through the premium levels on the 4 hour. You've got to think, if this is bearish, right, if we're going to retest this level down here, we shouldn't really be squeezing up too high into the premium zones. So at that point, I would be then, if it sets up right, if what I see is what I want to see, I would then be willing to bid the discount on the 4 hour. Because we know when price starts breaking up, the 4 hour trend holds. You can clearly see the difference between this and this. Above 50 level, reclaimed, retest, every retest into the 50 level is bought back up. Here, every retest of the 50 level is sold off below the 50 level. Bearish momentum. Look at the colors. So it's very easy to identify momentum. And so this is what I would do. I would wait for a breakup, come back down, retest 4 hour. High probability trade, low probability, entering in the middle of chop. This is exactly what you do when you're a trader. You don't talk in absolutes. You wait for the market to show its hand, and then you come up with a plan to be able to get on board that trade and then hopefully profit from that trade. You're not going to win every trade, but the goal is to not lose. Okay? The goal is to lose as little as possible, and the upside will take care of itself. And so this is why this week we've not really done much, because we're in the middle of chop and we're just waiting for the market to show its hand. So hopefully this explains exactly my thought process. It's not going to come to you overnight, but it will come to you eventually, and you'll begin to understand how to think like a trader. Some of you are already there. Some of you obviously newer to trading. When I first started, it took me years to get to grips with it. But when you watch the market every day, you begin to understand how the market moves and what to look for and what's going to be the most high profitable probability trades to take. And consistency is key with this. You have to do it consistently, analyze the market the same every single time, come up with the same trades, and everything will work out eventually over time. The 3 areas that I take trades at are discount, premium, and the mid-band. But the mid-band, I only take trades at the mid-band when we are in a trend. Don't take trades in a range at the mid-band, because that's the mean. That's where you're going to get a lot of chop. Okay, so like this is a great example here. where we got discount tapping into the daily mid-band. That's a beautiful trade setup there, where you get two time frames coming together, where you're actually entering at discount, but also entering at the mid-band as well. So hopefully you understand what I'm talking about here. We've got one setup potentially here for if this happens. So we're not going to miss out on the trade. We will hopefully get a trigger on this for if this happens. Okay, we've got a trade down here that we can take. We know exactly what we want to do there. Let's just quickly go over that. The daily. Simple setup. Take this swing low. Stop loss goes at discount on the daily. At D2. That's where we put our stop losses. And then we aim higher for that breakout into price discovery. Knowing that our stop is way below the key pivot that we don't want to see price get below. The other trade would be back down towards the monthly MA, back up towards this level here. I'm not going to look to short if we get back through here until we move up and we get that premium moving down like this right here. This would move down. If price got below, price would then come back up, back into premium zone at the key level, and then we can short. Okay, many ways of looking at this. This is how I trade. I come up with these setups at the start of every week, and I just wait. I wait for price to come to me, and then I execute. There's no fear. I'm not getting scared or anything. Uncomfortable. I'm feeling a little bit uncomfortable in some of these trades. The majority of the trades I do feel uncomfortable when I'm taking them, because quite often I'm going against price. So price is coming into a level and I'm going against it. Something you've got to get used to is you are often better to fade a violent move than to fade a bulldozer type move. So you want to be fading moves that do this, not this. This is controlled selling. You do not want to step in front of this. Stepping in front of a liquid move lower into a key level. At first it's very difficult, but that's exactly what you want to be doing. Okay.